Right guys, welcome back to some more F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are here for round 2 of season 5 for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and this weekend we have no rain expected in terms of the weather forecast. But if you guys missed the last episode, round 1 and the season opener in Australia, then go watch the video guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen, because in this episode we have, as you can tell by the title, 13 upgrades on the car this race. They are all minor, but it is still 13 upgrades, and luckily for us, every single one of them has arrived and has been completed, which is fantastic. So we're going to have a fully improved car this race. We're still quite a way down, but having said that, things are looking better. I believe we've got about 6 upgrades on the engine, 6 on the chassis, and then 1 for the durability. And that is going to mean we go from last to, third from last, but we're kind of in that midfield pack and covering that gap there between Mercedes, Haas, and Renault. So we're kind of in amongst it now, which is good. So at least we're going to have some form of competitiveness in our car, but there's still a massive gap to the top 4 teams, and we've got to keep working, pushing hard, and trying to improve. And that's why we're going to tackle practice and try and do our absolute best by scoring pretty much, some decent scores really in this practice session. And the car, like I said before, working pretty well in this one actually, and much better than Australia. There's still a lot of glaring issues and there's a lot of faults. The car just generally is slow, but it felt quicker than Australia. I could notice it already, and there's a lot more engine power as well. You can really notice that the speed traps were much stronger from us, and generally there's just an underwhelming, or should I say overwhelming tone of understeer on the car as a whole, but it's still quite consistent, which I like, and that's going to be key as we jump into qualifying here. And on our first one, we actually go P7, of course, quite early days as people hadn't set their laps yet. Eventually we got pushed down to 17th place, and this was my best lap of qualifying here at Bahrain. So let's run on board for a lap of Bahrain, and I'll be back with you guys in a moment. Here we go, then we run up to the line and we improve by 2.5 tenths, and we actually move up into the top 14, which is pretty damn good for us. And I thought I was doing quite well, then I realised Kvyat was actually in P11. So again, it's showing the improved pace of Ferrari in this session as we go into our final run. And unfortunately for us, I just got put off by the amount of cars leaving the pit lane, and I would have been held up anyway. That Toro Rosso would have probably got in the way, and I just got the braking all wrong and pretty much ruined the lap. So our final attempt isn't going to be anything worthy, and eventually I just backed off because I was so far behind. And you can see on screen those were the final qualifying results, and we actually finished 17th in the end. There's other cars around us did improve, but Kvyat P11, really good race, or qualifying, sorry, from him, and a good improvement from the pace compared to Australia, where he was on the last row of the grid. So a massive step forward for us, but we still have a lot of work to do, and part of that is going to be in the race. Hopefully we can try and make something happen on strategy, but we are going to start from 17th. Kvyat in P11, but the question is, can Ferrari score big points in the desert? Could it be our first points of the season? I guess we'll find out. But either way, there's the other qualifying here today on Saturday, and we're now going to move into the race for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Now, let's kick off our conversation with Alexander Albon. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be, it's about effective damage limitation.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Gasly, George Russell and Hamilton, Vettel, Magnussen, Sainz and Valtteri Bottas, Kvyat, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, Martinez, Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo. Grosjean and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting from P16. Quite a way down, but we are going to try our best and see if we can try and improve. Luckily for us, we do improve one position on the grid due to a penalty to a car behind, and we're going to try and see if we can maybe score a point today. That could be possible. We've got Kvyat up in P11, which is good, and we're in 16, so you never know what could happen. In terms of the strategy, we are going to start the race on the medium tyres and then transition onto the hard, so a one-stop strategy for us here today is going to be the one to go for, as it is the quicker option, and hopefully we can try and make it work. If we do, we might have a strong chance of some points, but either way, we need to see an improvement really, because Australia was absolutely awful. So let's get racing, let's try our best and try and put a performance that's worthy of a Ferrari. So let's get racing. It's time for round 2, and this is the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's try and get a good start here as we build up the revs to the 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. It's actually not a terrible start from us. We're going to defend the inside as we got Ricciardo behind looking for a move. Got to be careful into turn 1 here. This is going to get very complex. Right on the curb there, right on the apex. We've actually lost a bit of ground as the Toro Rosso gets by. So we're down to 18th now. Not ideal. I'm going to try and do the Lando Norris here and go to the outside. Oh, that's fantastic. We find 3 positions up to 15th. Could have got a 4th with Hülkenberg, but that's a really good recovery there. As we get really wide into that right-hander, just completely no grip on the front end of the car at the minute. Just got to try and adapt my driving style to the extra fuel in the car and also the medium tyres. But this goes hand in hand with what I said before. This car is understeery at the minute. It really is. It's a big problem, but hopefully we can put up with it. Actually, a couple of cars and hard tyres in front of us as well, which is going to be good for us. Hopefully we can try and get past them straight away and make some progress. But so far we've gained a place on lap 1. Up to P15, which is good after that initial poor start. But let's see if we can try and hold here and potentially try and even push on. But so far, so good. Not the best final corner. Raikkonen's going to be on the back of me here. We're going to have to defend the inside. Raikkonen's committing to it, but he doesn't have any slipstream, so he's struggling to make a difference. As we hold the inside line. Into turn 1 on the brakes. I've got to try and be late and be brave to keep Kimi behind, who's trying to put some pressure on, but we do stay in front of the Iceman for now. Not over yet though, as we make our way up towards turn 4. Kimi's coming back for more. He's going to go to the outside. I'm going to hold the inside line, but we've got no grip on these tyres at the minute. I've got no confidence. And Kimi is on the soft tyre, which is going to make it quite hard for us to keep him behind. But so far we're hanging on. Raikkonen's got too much pace here. I just can't really defend this all the time.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
Kimi down the inside, he's got a lot more grip. I'm just going to let him go, to be honest. I think I'm wasting time by defending and also using up all my fuel in the RS, so I'd much rather be following him than defending. So let's try and stick with him if we can. There is battles in front, which is good news for us. pace isn't that good. I'm really struggling so far. The car's still not there in terms of where it needs to be. Having said that, there is some big battles happening in front of us, you know, for the tail end of the point. So we are still kind of in this race, but we need to improve the pace. It's just not good enough at the minute. It really isn't. Here comes Ricardo though. He's got DRS and full momentum. He's going to go to the outside. We're going to show him the long way around into turn 1. Easy on the brakes. I don't have a lot of confidence on the brakes, particularly in this race at the minute. I am struggling. But we do keep Ricardo behind for a little bit longer. Oh, yellow flag. Someone in front. It's a Mercedes. Antonio Giovinazzi. He's going to pull over. So that's the first retirement of the Grand Prix here today.
Some information on Giovinazzi. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
No smoke, so probably an electrical issue. But that's the first retirement of the race here today. Cars in the pit lane. Here comes Ricardo. That Red Bull's there. It's going to get ugly. We're quite hot on the brake into turn 1. Very wide. I'm going to get the momentum. And I'm going to get DRS on the exit. But we've got Verstappen right on our tail here. Trying to re-overtake Ricardo. Going to try and go to the outside, but there's no room. Verstappen on the inside as well, trying to make a move. He's still there. He's going to take this. I'm going to back out. It's not my fight. We'll let Verstappen go. Hopefully he can pass Ricardo and give him some trouble. And Ricardo locks up actually. That's going to give the invitation for Verstappen to try and get past. This is good for us if those two battle. Oh, they're both wide. Oh, there, Verstappen comes back on quite dangerously. Ricardo unfortunately has DRS, so we can't quite make the overtake, I don't think, unless we get a lot of momentum. We're going to try and get that switch back of sorts, but I don't think we're going to get it through here just yet. Let's just try and stick with it. And we'll try and get him on the pit straight. It's gone absolutely bananas on this lap with the pit stops. Let's stick within range and we'll get Ricardo with DRS next time around. Here we go. Luckily for us, Verstappen's actually behind us. It's not even directly behind us. He's even further back. So it's Albon, the next car. And Albon sends one actually. He catches me napping. Good a move from Alex, but it doesn't quite work out. But that's giving Ricardo a bit of a gap. And I don't think I'm close enough.
Be advised moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
We are gaining quite a bit here. So late one on the brakes down the inside. And oh wow, what a move that is. And that should do it. As we get past him once again and move up into the top 8. Very nicely done. Fantastic move from Ricardo. But I can't lie, I'm not enjoying this race. Car feels horrific. It really does. It feels like an absolute handful. As Albon goes down the inside here. Again, a bit of an unorthodox overtaking opportunity for Alex so far. I'm going to cover the inside here. These two have a lot of straight line speed on me. Verstappen goes to the inside of Albon. It's the outside for me. We are going to bonk tyres. This is so close. We just hold on. Oh, that's a bit of oversteer there. Oh my days, we're really up against this. There's an Alfa Romeo just streaming up the inside now, trying to make his way through. I'm just trying to hang on here, but I've got no pace, no grip and no confidence. This is crazy. There goes Max. No point in fighting this. He's got a lot more pace now. And he's got his engine turned up as we get more oversteer. Sebastian Vettel now looking for a move behind us in the Alfa Romeo. It's just getting tricky now, really tricky. Here goes Seb, it's going to be an easy one for him. We won't fight it because we'll get DRS on the pit straight. There he goes. We're just going to focus on getting a nice clean exit out of the final corner, and there we go, that should do it. Let's see if we can try and stay in the slipstream so we've got more cars in the pit lane.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
We're actually gaining on Sebastian here, we're going to try it. I thought we were going down the inside. Seb locks up. That invites Gasly to the inside. We just about hang on though. This is such a crazy race, man. I can't keep up. This is so intense. I'm doing my teammate a massive favour here by doing this, because he's getting a massive gap out front and I'm holding up all the faster cars. Look at the grip Gasly has there. I can't compete with that. He walks past and I don't even get DRS. We're going to be a sitting duck. Looks like Gasly didn't get DRS though either, so no one got DRS in that exchange. Albon behind, he's gaining on us. We've got to try and be careful into turn 1 here. Trying to defend the inside because I know that AI I like. They tend to lunge one down the inside when they're battling each other and they forget about you. Luckily for us, we come away unscathed and currently P10. One more lap before we pit. Right, we're going to box in. That's the end of our first stint. We're concentrating so much. Get it all slowed down, and there we go. Looks like Albon follows us in. Right, we need a good stop here, boys. Come on, this has to be good.
Release.
And we'll take that 1.9, that's spot on. We'll comfortably rejoin ahead of Albon, which is good to see. On the hard tyres though, going to the end of the race. As there goes Kimi Raikkonen in the Mercedes, so we're now down to 18th place in this Grand Prix.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Albon's right on my gearbox here, he's got a lot more pace at the minute. So far Stroll and also Ricciardo box, as here comes Albon to the outside. Into turn 1, bit of a lock up, but we just about keep it under control. And we remain in front of Alex Albon for now, but this isn't going to end. It's going to be an endless battle to the end of the race, I think. Trying to keep the Toro Rosso behind. Here comes Albon again. Grosjean in the pits. I don't have the momentum this time, and I've got no rich mix left over. Into turn 1 again. On the brakes, we're going to just keep him on the outside, and that will do it. There we go, once again. And we get DRS as well for good measure, as Ricciardo and Albon switch places. Here comes Ricciardo. He's going to try and go for the move. He's gaining. We're going to have to defend because he's being attacked by Albon. This is going to be close. Oh my god. We're going to keep the line, hold the line. We need the guys behind to battle really heavily so I can pull away and open up a gap. Like, for example, now we've got a little bit of a gap here. So they keep battling. That's what we need. I just need to try and break DRS. That would be ideal. As Bottas makes the move in the McLaren on medium tyres. Good luck from us, personal best. 28.5, but we're still 3 seconds off the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Just set by Charles Leclerc. I've got a bit hot on the brakes there into turn 1. Luckily, we just about save it. Bottas trying to make a way through, but we keep our car in lastly place. We've got Carlos Sainz in front of my teammate on medium tyres in the other McLaren. Bottas is right on my gearbox here. He's going to make the move. I'm going to let him take that. Little early brake check just to make sure we get the DRS. Let's see if we can try and return the favour and get back past him here with the DRS assistance. Here we go, we're gaining. Come on, let's try and get past the McLaren. There we go. To the inside. Easy on the brakes. A little bit of a rear lock up, which makes my rear end slide into the entry, but we get away with it. And we'll take that. That should keep us in front for now. Bottas on my gearbox again here. This time he does get the inside. He is going to get DRS, but we are a little bit closer. Just that I'm not going to have the DRS benefit, so we're going to have to get this one done with just pure slipstream. But we are close enough. Albon's getting behind us. That's going to make it 3 wide, so we're going to have to go to the outside. How brave are we around the outside? Very brave. Inside for the next one, and there we go. We stay in front. But it's not over yet. Bottas coming back at us once again. We're going to have to hold the inside. I'm taking such a narrow line here. I've run so deep into the corner, but I didn't really have much of a choice. I'm trying to stay in front, but Bottas gets through. Let's keep the pressure on him. Down the hill. I tried to look down the inside, but I think Bottas might have that one now on the mediums. And we're now down to P15. Here comes Albon. He's gaining. He's got a lot of power this time. Ricciardo up behind him once again. But again, we'll hold the inside. It's the same old move as always, but it's effective for us and it works. And we've got DRS for the next straight, so we'll stay in front quite nicely. Here comes Albon again. He's close enough. He's going to try and go for the move one more time. Again, we'll defend the inside and show him the long way around. A little bit of contact that time. But we are going to hold the inside line just about. And there we go. We stay in front of Albon for at least another couple of laps. They're battling behind me quite heavily now. They're losing quite a bit of time. This is perfect. We're now finally getting some breathing space to try and do our thing and set some lap times. So let's try and get a head down and try and keep the gap. Personal best from us. There we go. That's the difference. When I'm not battling people every single lap with DRS trains, I can do my own pace and have my own race. And we're looking good here to secure P15 now. Here we are then, last lap of the race. Fireworks going off for Sergio Perez, who wins in the desert. Also, just for reference, you can see currently I'm doing personal best after personal best. Interesting stat, Pierre Gasly just did the fast lap of the Grand Prix, 124.9, and we're in the 128s. That's how bad the pace is at the minute. We're really nowhere near the pace. As we go into the final corner, we're going to bring home a P15, which is okay. I think Kvyat might have scored points though, we'll confirm it in a moment, but either way, again, race 2, done and dusted, and again, it's more pain in this season.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
A victory for Racing Point. The team will certainly be celebrating tonight. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Racing Point's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the veterans of the sport. They're making their way out to the podium now as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Right, so here we have the final race results, and it is a 1-2 for Racing Point. Perez beating Hamilton by 3/10 to the victory, and then Leclerc rounds off the podium, Sebastian Vettel P4, but then Danny Kvyat P5 in the Ferrari. Fantastic drive, and a really, really good race from him. You can tell by the fastest laps, he was nowhere near the pace, but the strategy was key. The one stop paid off, and I actually helped him out a lot in that race, by keeping a lot of cars behind me for the majority of the Grand Prix. It just allowed him to just kind of open up a gap and do his own race, have his own strategy, and drive peacefully with no real major battles, which is what you want around here. And yeah, overall Kvyat gets a massive 5th place and some big points for us to get our season up and running. Gasly P6, Magnussen 7th, Verstappen 8th, Russell 9th, and Norris in 10th, rounding out the point scorers. Missing out, we have Hulkenberg, Sainz, Raikkonen, Bottas, ourselves, Stroll, Ricciardo, Albon, and Grosjean, with Antonio Giovinazzi being the only retirement of the Grand Prix. In terms of the standings, well, we're still yet to score a point, so we're towards the bottom, but Verstappen leads. He's equal on points with Lewis Hamilton, and Gasly and also Perez not too far behind. Kvyat in the top 10 there with his first points of the season, and we are in P18 with a big fat 0 to our name. In terms of the constructors, we're in 6th place. We do have 10 points to our name, and we're ahead of Haas, Renault, Mercedes, and Toro Rosso. Racing Point leading the way with Red Bull not too far behind. But guys, that is it for the race here at Bahrain. We're now going to move into the laptop and put on some more upgrades for the next couple of races.
What happened with your fuel strategy today? It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and we only have 1,000 points to spend, so we can't do much progress, but we are going to do some anyway, and it is going to come in the form of the chassis, because that is where we are weakest. We're second from bottom. So first of all, we are going to apply this major chassis upgrade for Baku, and that leaves us with 500 points still to spend, and I'm going to continue by, I think, maxing out this weight reduction tree, and we're going to do that one on for the next race in China, and we have 214 points left over it, but I don't think we can afford an upgrade, unfortunately. So that is going to be all she wrote in terms of the upgrades here today, and we'll have one for the next race, only a minor one, and a major one for Baku, and hopefully we can add to those 200 points in the next episode. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode here today. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on the video, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And also finally guys, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.